Hey folks, I'm JR Latta, and this is your 3-ish minutes of leadership. So I had a chance encounter with a young man many years ago. The general and I were at this gathering of brand new airmen to the base, new airmen to the Air Force, and he was walking around. He was asking everybody their name, where they're from, where they work, and where they live at. And he gets this one young man in the back. And the young man says, I'm Airman, we'll call him X. I'm Airman X. I'm from Ghana. I won the lottery. I moved to Florida, and I joined the Air Force. And the room went silent, with the exception of one young lady in the back, and I could see her smile as she started sitting up straight. The general looks at me, I shrug my shoulders. He says, say it again. And the young man says, I'm Airman X. I'm from Ghana. I won the lottery. I moved to Florida, and I joined the Air Force. And you could see the smile growing on his face. By this time, the young lady in the back was bouncing up and down in her chair. She was shaking her hands. She was so excited. So we started to tease this out because obviously the anticipation in the room is starting to grow. And what we found was this young man had won the immigration lottery. So apparently millions of people a year are applying for an immigration lottery to come to the United States. And he was selected. She had been applying for it for years and had never been selected and had to immigrate a different way, but she knew exactly what he was talking about and how big a deal it was. So the more that we talked to both of these people, the more that we started to learn how much they appreciated the opportunities that had been given to them. This young man won this lottery. He came to Florida and he immediately joined the Air Force. He wanted to give back to the country that was giving him an opportunity, but then he also saw the opportunities that the Air Force would give him to grow, to get educated, to do all of those things. And her story was very, very similar to his. She wanted to give back to the country that was giving her and her family an opportunity. And both of these people understood how important and how precious that opportunity was. And I walked away from that meeting, from that group that day, thinking about how many people every day are giving away opportunities. I thought about all of the young men and the young women that were coming in the Air Force that were making poor decisions. They were getting DUIs. They were using drugs. They were getting into fights. They were failing tests. They were doing all of the wrong things. They were making bad choices for short-term temptation and forgetting about the long-term success. They were overlooking the long game. They were overlooking the opportunity that had been given to them and how many other people out there were waiting in line to take their place. For foolishness, they were willing to forfeit that opportunity. And then I come into the corporate world and I see people around me all the time that don't want to move out of their position, that want to stay rooted where they're at. They don't want to make a decision. They don't want to move forward. They don't want to take chances. They end up giving away long-term success, often for short-term temptation. They get distracted by what's going on around them right now, and they lose focus. You know, I remembered a staff sergeant years ago that talked to a very young JR Latta, and he said, never pass up a school, never pass up any type of education, never pass up a job, and always look for the things that nobody else wants to do. He goes, if you can stay disciplined and work hard at everything that's given to you, everything that's presented to you, it will open up more opportunities. But every time opportunities get opened up, you have to put your arms around them and protect them. And these two young people in that group understood the opportunities that had been given to them, and they cherished them, they protected them. And it made me think about the other people that don't realize the opportunities, that take for granted opportunities that are given to them. And I bet you every one of you watching this video now, either yourself or you know people around you that are forfeiting opportunities for foolish reasons every day. You got to remember, we can never piss away our opportunities. This has been your 4-ish minutes of leadership. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.